Well, they went to work never imagining they would make history. 10 years ago this month, a pilot, first officer, and 2 flight attendants became trailblazers as the first all-female African-American flight crew to operate an aircraft.
Yes, Fox 5's Deidre Dukes reports the women now use their platform to encourage girls to pursue their dreams of careers in aviation.
Touring an exhibit at the Fulton County Aviation Community Cultural Center in Atlanta, featuring African Americans who broke barriers in the aviation industry.
This is Bessie Coleman.
First Officer Stephanie Grant and flight attendants Robin Rogers and Diana Galloway are trailblazers in their own right.
We went to work just like any other day, and the next thing you know, we're in the history books.
And it happened by chance. On February 12, 2009, First Officer Stephanie Grant was assigned to Atlantic Southeast Airlines Flight 5202 from Atlanta to Nashville, after the original First Officer, who was initially supposed to fly that day, called out sick.
I was on call that day, so my assignment was to be at the airport in the event that someone did get sick or called out.
Grant was brought in to cover the shift, joining Captain Rochelle Jones-Kerr in the cockpit that day. Flight attendants Rogers and Galloway were already assigned to work the cabin. When First Officer Grant joined the group, the women quickly realized they were experiencing a personal career first as an all-black female flight crew operating an aircraft.
We took a photo in the galley just to commemorate it for ourselves, because we were like, man, this was cool. It was all African-American women that operated this flight. And we sent it to our family and friends, and that photo took on a life of its own. My sister calls and she said, you know, you're famous. I'm like, for what? She was like, your picture's going around the internet.
About 2 weeks later, the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals made it official, informing the ladies they had made history that day.
Congratulations, great ladies of aviation.
The city of Atlanta and others paying tribute to the women on this 10-year anniversary, and they're making the media rounds, using their platform to introduce African-American girls and women to careers in the aviation industry. First Officer Grant says there are less than 150 African-American women that fly airplanes commercially and in the military combined.
We get to tell our story and our journey to how we got to that moment in history, and it gives us a huge platform to give back, to let young girls of color know that this is an industry that they definitely want to take a look at.
And just as the African-American pioneers who first took flight paved the way for these women to realize their dreams, the ladies now inspire others.
And maybe if they start flying as flight attendant, they'll say, I might want to be a pilot, and pursue that. And pursue that later on. Or even for air traffic control, anything in the aviation would be, you know, a good opportunity.
So they share their stories for other young dreamers. When it comes to pursuing a career in aviation, the sky's the limit.
It's absolutely amazing, because we did not expect to be sitting here today 10 years later celebrating our journey into the history books.
In Atlanta, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
Well, this year, the women partnered with the nonprofit Sisters of the Skies to award scholarships to 5 deserving young women who are pursuing careers in the aviation industry.